I am the voice behind The Spirited Witch, Practical Living for Spooky People. And I do these community tarot readings on Mondays when I can. So most Mondays. And then I post a follow-up with notes, usually within that day or a day or two later. So good morning. Thanks for joining me. The last few weeks I've been able to pregame. I was not able to pregame this time, so I'm shuffling the cards while I'm speaking to you. For those that are interested in that level of detail, I am using Tarot of the Spirits, which was a collaboration by Pamela and Rachel Eakins. If you go to tarotofthespirit.com, there is a whole set of studies specific to these cards in the Kabbalah. I'm not a Kabbalist. I like it because the cards, the way they are drawn and the way they are labeled speak to the way I work folk magic. And that makes things very, very handy, since one of my areas of expertise that I am known for is for curse diagnostics and curse breaking. I don't run around hexing people, but I am very good at breaking spells, sometimes a little bit too much. Carrie, sometimes that's more fun for the surprise. Well, as it is, we now have poop death lettuce. So I think that no matter when I'm pulling the cards, I am getting there is no bingo card for this surprise this year. Also, yes, I do one-on-one readings, and I will post the link for folks that want that. I do have a Patreon as well, and for the Patreon does offer monthly Zoom readings with me. And that is how I make myself accessible to community for people that need longer term help. Sometimes the Patreon's more affordable. Sometimes it's just easier to do a one and done. Especially since I do some fairly complicated spirit work along the way. So I think I've got this down. And so let's see. Let's see what the general advice. Oh, this is going to be funny. I'm sorry. So when I pull these cards, these are advice to the community, except that these cards, they know they're supposed to be saying, what should people know? What do we need to know? What do we need to work on right now? And they will still sometimes comment. Like, my tarot decks have their own personalities. Like, I actually have 2 copies of the Tarot of the Spirit. One that is my upstairs deck from when I was laid up. One that is my downstairs deck because I'm in my home workspace right now until I'm fully able to get things up and running in front of the herb cabinet that everyone likes looking at. But so the one downstairs, its personality is like Raymond Reddington from Blacklist. So just for those that are familiar with that character, and I will channel him sometimes when I am dealing with difficult people, but we got the devil for the advice for the week. So there is no non-complicated way to talk about this card. So I'm going to start with the small scale before I go to the large scale. And my numerology program just popped up for no reason. So that's wild. So apparently something with the number 15 or the number 6 is going to be something that is significant this week if I have a numerology problem popping up. Yeah, Carrie's going to go crap in the... Yeah. Carrie's been watching me for a while, so she knows when I react this way, it's bad. And I do not do the positive only readings, because if you are only looking for positive guidance, you are leaving a big pile of issues and structure ignored. And the devil is definitely about not ignoring the problems, but it is also in this circumstance, because remember, the meanings of the cards change in context to the question, to the circumstance, to each other, sometimes to the spirits that show up. And so just because the devil card has showed up does not automatically mean it's bad news, but it is very complicated news. So often when it comes up in a reading, my first professional tarot reading that I ever received, the devil card showed up because I was asking what was going to happen to me that weekend. And it said I would meet a boy, and the devil card came up. And that did turn out to be very true. He was not compatible, and he was definitely a misogynist that projected a lot of stuff onto me. But it did lead to a literal life-changing journey where I changed states. I ended up breaking free from a really toxic relationship with my parents. I cut off my access to a lot of people that had access to me that should not have had it. So the devil card is one of those where it's It can be bad news, it can be a warning, but it also can signify something significant because every devil card I've seen. So you see the two little people at the bottom, and they are always, always chained. And the only variation I've really seen on that is the Urban Tarot, where the devil is a guy in a bathroom stall, where it is wholly focused on on addiction and the nature of addiction. But the devil is the card of what is really chaining you, what is really restricting your freedom. And given that this is a community card and the devil is coming up at a time in history where we are really looking at, are we really free? What does freedom look like? What do we have to do to get certain things back, certain privacies back, certain learn to mind your own damn businesses back, certain you should not be regulating other people's bodies back. And the devil card is all about that. Now, the people that are trying to do that regulation, trying to assert that control, of course, are going to be going on about the literal Satan and how we are of the devil. But even if you look at Satan only shows up in the Bible twice. And I've read the entire Bible except for the apocryphal texts because I'm that kind of nerd. And I've read it in multiple translations, but I haven't read it in any original languages. I couldn't afford to be that level of nerd. So I'm an autodidact, not a polymath, because I could afford to be an autodidact. So when in those both cases, Satan is always working for God. Yeah, devil is very much in the details. Satan is working for God and Satan is executing the details God laid out. So with Job, hey, torture that guy because I want to see how much he loves me because, that's a healthy relationship. But there's also the confrontation between Satan and Jesus. And Satan isn't doing anything except what he's been told to do. He is showing Jesus other choices he has. A lot of people look at it, he's trying to tempt him. He's trying to get him to evil. He's trying to get him to abandon. I am looking at it going, to me, from my perspective, it looks like Satan is going through the process of informed consent. It looked to me in that story of Satan tempting Jesus in the desert of, you really could do something else. You really do have other choices. Is this really what you want? And that is how I read it. Well, a lot of people look at it as him trying to push to go do the other thing. But Satan had no dog in that race. His agenda was simply to do his job and put it in front of the human person. And so when we're looking at this one, it is that same thing, is the devil is very much about the dynamic of agency and loss of agency. Where in our lives have we lost agency? Where are we giving it away? Where are we choosing not to take it? And where can we get it back? What are our personal chains? What are our community chains? I know I tend to be like, my mom would call me a rabble rouser just to get people not to take me seriously. But of course, then they decided it was fun. So occasionally I would still get some rabble roused successfully. It only resulted in one city ordinance that I know of. And it was worth it. No arrests though. But one of the things in communities is we have this concept called the broken stair. And in Congress, we have so many broken stairs. It's amazing you can get to the top floor without falling through to the damn basement. A broken stair is a community belief or a person. Usually it's referred to as a person, especially in smaller communities, but it can be a collective belief that is something that causes repeated harm to others. That, usually it's community predators that people ignore. Oh, that guy's always handsy. Oh, watch out for, but then nobody does anything. Nobody says anything. Nobody bans the person from the place or gets the person arrested when it's appropriate to do so, or tells the person they need to knock it the hell off. And nobody steps up when they see this person doing anything. This is also happening on a legal level. This is happening on a governance level, as we have so many broken stairs, so many abuses. And the general populace, we have all kinds of rights about these situations, but most of us are too overwhelmed to even know what they are. Most of us are too overwhelmed to even know what to do, or we're so buried in the paperwork of existing, and some of this is deliberate, to keep from that assertion. Like, I just found out that only 18 states have recall election processes. Most states cannot recall a corrupt person from office. They're stuck with them until they're done. I can't wrap my head around not having that citizen safety in place. And so a lot of these things that need to be done will still take a very long time. They will. And a lot of it has to be done grassroots because trying to go through the quote unquote proper channels can't be trusted. And sometimes they can because, again, government is big. It's just a big employer, less so than it used to be. And there are people in there who want to change the system, but still have to work within the chains of bureaucracy. And so we can look at it at that level, or we can stop and look, and it will still make a difference on the personal levels as well of what is one thing holding me down, holding me back that really isn't necessary right now? Or what is one thing where I've been holding back and holding back, trying to be a good person, where in fact, not holding back is going to get the healthier result for the higher moral good. So again, sometimes a lot of women, especially men too, but women more so, get trained and trained. Don't make a scene, don't make a scene. And yet the thing that saves our lives is making a scene. The thing, it may not keep our jobs, but we'll still come out alive at least. We're expected to keep our jobs at the loss of our lives in some cases just because of that whole don't make a scene stuff. So this is the other side of the devil, is the be ungovernable side, is if we are looking more at folkloric devils, so not Satan, but more devils are also a kind of spirit, usually a wild nature spirit that is beyond mischievous. And we're not talking like Black Phillip, would thou live deliciously stuff. This is more on the Slavic animist side, where these are just extremely wild creatures that they don't care about human law. They care about being what they are and doing what they do. So if you were unbound by human convention, what would you do? And I'm not saying go do that because, again, we still do have human accountabilities to consider. But it is one way of looking at what is chaining you and what really is necessary for survival, civility, stability of your family, and what is something you're just carrying because you've always carried it and you've never thought to question it. So that's what I've got for y'all today. Are there any, and again, especially when we've got a little bit extra time before I have to hop over to the Patreon live that I do right after this, where I do a 3-card following up on this. So I may find out what the details about the devil are this morning, but I have learned that the cards are accurate, but sometimes I am not. So if there's any insights or observations, you are welcome to share them. I do encourage this. So, hi, it looks like someone just joined. Welcome. We are wrapping up, but the card for the community for the week is the devil. And I will be posting the live. I may just be posting the video today because Cynthia's home and there's stuff going on. But we were talking about look at what chains you and look at the larger things in your community that chains you and understanding the broken stair. Thanks. I learned something new about the devil today. That's a great sentence. Right? Right? I strongly, if you really want to learn about devils on a folkloric level, I really recommend Polish Folk Magic and the YouTube channel that Joanna runs, because she has a lot of lore that we do not talk about in the States. And for me, it has been like, I've done a lot of Christian deconstructing. I started my Christian deconstruction in the 90s, but I did not realize how much more I had to go when it came to looking at folk magic and shifting to an animistic perspective. So it has been really helpful. And it can be very hard to bring animism to tarot. Tarot is definitely a very ether, astral, human created concept. I mean, we basically took a card game and made a divination system out of it. It is very, very human based. And I'm not even sure which cards would, aside from the world, would even identify an animistic spirit. But at least this one with the devil, I mean, that's actually adding a new layer for me too, now that I'm really thinking about it. It's kind of cool. The devil isn't there to work for or against. It's just points out the things that we don't like that we have to see. This is what I've learned about it when it shows up. I know when that boy showed up in my life from that first reading, I did not want to see the devil. I wanted to see the lovers. I wanted to see the 2 of Cups. I wanted to see one of the knights and all of that. And that is so not what I got. So it is definitely a card to pay attention to because yeah, it may be bad news, but it is definitely bad news you can do something about. And when it comes to being subversive, it's probably one of the best cards in the deck, and I do love being subversive. All right, so thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Have a wonderful morning. I will be posting the live. I'm probably not going to do the notes this week because I am trying to catch up on some other projects, but it will be there soon with the transcripts. And again, I am available for one-on-one readings if you like. And my Patreon memberships do include monthly Zoom readings with me. All right, stay magical, everyone, and I will see you soon.